cut that real short because I got in trouble yesterday. This is a redo. This is a do-over from yesterday because yesterday I got in trouble for some copyright infringement. They didn't want your boy to win, but you know what? It actually helped me out in the long run because after watching the video, I realized I could have done a better job. There was a few things that I was missing that I should have added in there. And it gave me a chance today to redeem myself. So that just goes to show when some things aren't working your way, there might be an underlying reason why they are not working. But aside from that, buenos dias, mi gente. Good morning, beautiful people. I am here today on April 26th, episode 2 to my installment to Wellness by Felipe. So today on this video, I wanted to talk about a few things. Okay, number one, we wanted to recap on last week. Last week was the intro. I give you guys an oversight of what is expected to come, why I started this channel. And again, just to reiterate what I was looking and what my intentions are to do with this channel is to give you guys a practical guide on how to build self-confidence, how to build self-awareness, and ultimately just build some self-esteem within yourself and get you in touch with what really makes you happy and what motivates you. So actually, after watching this video, I noticed that I do a whole lot of rambling. So I got my little notepad today of things that I want to cover and want to talk about. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm trying to stay on track. I'm doing this by myself. I don't have some fancy person behind the scenes that is giving me some things to talk about and whatnot. So I got to do it myself. And this is what happens, guys. These are the growing pains. And again, I'm being 100% transparent with you guys. You guys are growing with me. And this is how we grow. So number one, I wanted to give you guys a background on who I am and, how this all started for me, because it's always so easy to say, when you see someone in a position that you want to be in, it's always so easy for you to say, well, they were lucky, they got lucky, or they've had opportunities that I don't have, right? And that can be so far from the truth. And I want you guys to cut that off already, because I want to give you guys my background story, because I get a lot of compliments, and thank you guys for the ones that aren't really salty out there and are willing to give someone a compliment. And I get compliments like, you're so disciplined, you're so motivated and whatnot. And I appreciate those compliments, but it's important to know that that wasn't overnight. It's been years and years of me building this discipline. It's been years and years of me just really building this motivation all together. And it's important for you guys to know my backstory. So, obviously I've been dealing with these things for a long time, but just until recent memory, to not bore you guys with a ton of stories, we'll go back to 2016, right? So 2016 was a big year for me. 2016 was the first year that I've actually committed to this new career that I'm in. And I'm self-employed. I work for a brokerage house, but I still am self-employed, which means that I write my own checks. And coming from W-2, that transition first, number one, was very, very scary, because it really put the pressure on me that I had to perform in order to put food on my table. I couldn't go in and clock in 9 to 5 anymore. And 2016, I made a promise to myself, and I set a goal to reach, a certain amount of place paid business. And that goal, to be 100% transparent with you guys, was to place pay over $100,000 in business, which I set my mind on that, and I was able to accomplish it by a hair. I'm telling you guys, I probably place paid, I think it was 101,000. It was like pennies over that goal. But needless to say, I accomplished my goal. I didn't quite crush it, but I accomplished my goal, and I wanted to reward myself. So what did I want to reward myself with? Take a guess. Yeah, I wanted to go buy the most expensive car that I could possibly get qualified for and get financed for. So I drove my little ass over to San Diego Jaguar dealership, and I bought my dream car. Hindsight 2020, a little premature, a whole lot premature, right? Shortly after that, I got my condo, I got my Harley, I got, all these material things that I wanted, and I thought they were going to make me happy. And don't get me wrong, I did enjoy them. I had a great time with them. But at the end of the day, I didn't feel fulfilled. All this stuff was fun, but I didn't feel fulfilled anymore. And aside from that, I started dealing with a whole lot of anxiety because of work, because of the pressures that I had to perform and reach the next level. I had to pay these payments that I had acquired, right? So I started dealing with some more stress, some more depression, some anxiety, right? And I figured I had to come to a solution. This can't be this way, right? So that's what actually started getting me into this whole self-awareness. Started listening to some podcasts, and you know what, to be honest, I don't remember exactly what time of that year was when I really started listening, but I, started subscribing to certain, self-development type podcasts and, try to listen to some books. And not till 2017, I, right around mid-year 2017, I had my first encounter with alopecia. And if anybody knows what alopecia is hair loss. And what provokes that hair loss is stress, right? And if anybody knows me, you guys know how serious I take my hair. So as soon as I found out that my hair was in jeopardy, I said, enough is enough. I got to put an end to this stress stuff. So I did, and that's actually 100% true. That's one of the biggest motivators that got me to start looking into, some self-development and self-awareness and start, reducing some of the stress that I was going through. Anyways, we'll go ahead and fast forward, right? We're fast forwarding through some time. I'm still, going through this journey. One of the very first podcasts, and I'm going to give you guys a few gems of some stuff that some things that really started changing my mindset. Number one podcast that's a great podcast to listen to is Short Story Long with Chris Drama. You might know him as Drama from the Rob Dyrdek show, or from Fantasy Factory, I'm sorry. And he had a guest on there. It was episode 50. He had Kevy on Stirdivant. And this man tells a story, and he gave me reason to believe again, to believe in myself and start really thinking, feeding my dreams again, my aspirations. Because I think a lot of times what we start doing is we start setting goals, but these goals are not really true to ourselves. Is what we think is expected from us, right? And it's to give other people happiness, right? It's things that people expect of you to, further their career, whatever the case is, right? And I think it's important for you to go back and really understand what your true motivations are, what your dreams are, what your aspirations are. So that propelled me to start going into that again and really start thinking about, what is it that I want for myself? What kind of life do I want to live? So we're going to fast forward again, right? So Lent came around, right? So Lent was something that I just recently started practicing. I started going back to church and, building my relationship with God. And I made a commitment to, my God, that I would, eliminate all distractions and get, a stronger connection with God and with the universe, with my Creator. So I disconnected from social media. I know some of you guys might think that's stupid and that's something stupid to give up, but you never really know how much it's dictating the decisions that you're making and how much of a distraction it really is until you get rid of it, right? So that and a few other things that I gave up. I gave up alcohol. I gave up red meat a couple years back, or last year actually. I gave up just red meat. And, gave me some clarity and it gave me some focus. And the biggest thing that it did is it allowed me to reflect on the things that made me happy. What were things that I really aspired to accomplish in my life? And sometimes you have to do this on your own, because when you share your dreams with certain people, they're so limited in their thinking that they're going to already tell you that it's impossible. And you got to be ready for that, right? So you got to build that confidence within yourself and reinforce why these dreams are so important to you and why you have them in the first place. So aside from that, it allowed me to reflect on myself, right? And reflecting on yourself is huge. Reflecting on who you think you are and who you really think you are, or truly believe you are. Actually, I might say that, because I know a lot of times we think that we know who we are, But until you really sit down and talk to yourself is when you can really hone in and own that identity. I think something that's really lacking now is that we don't have an identity that we're willing to die for. We have an identity that's socially accepted, right? It's so easy to say that, oh yeah, I'm a man of my word, I'm a this, I'm a that, right? But you're still out doing all the things that everybody else is doing, and that's not separating you from everyone else. Let me tell you, I learned that the hard way, because one of the biggest things that I always used to say is I can't stand hypocrites. You know, one of my things is like preach something and practice what you preach. And I realized that I was being a hypocrite about being a hypocrite, right? As ironic as that is. But, you know, that disconnection allowed me to connect more with myself and be more aware of the things that I was going through and, you know, what was stopping my breakthrough. And I think the biggest dream killer. Man, it's so hard. Sometimes with these big old bright lights in front of you, it just makes you nervous and makes you talk a little weird. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? It's a dream killer, right? So they are dream killers. And the biggest dream killer is the story that you tell yourself. You know, do you feel that you deserve that? Do you feel that you're worthy of accomplishing that? You know, do you really believe it? Which is the biggest thing, because you can say it until your face turns blue, but if you don't believe it, it's not going to come to fruition, right? So we always have the same story. It's always, I'm not good enough, right? I'm not good enough. So we need to change that. We need to change your belief, because once you believe something is possible, you will be able to accomplish it, right? Napoleon Hill said it best. He says, what the mind can conceive and believe, the mind will achieve. And I believe that 100%. That is very, very true. It's so, I mean, I can give you numerous analogies, right? It's always like, in this, I'm sure you guys can apply it to your life. It's, you know, someone always says something is impossible until someone does it. You know, in my business, you know, there was a certain threshold that people said that that's impossible. There's no way anybody can produce over $70,000 of paid business in 1 month. And until my friend did it, Josh Manzano, he accomplished it. Everybody else started doing the same thing. And it was like, how is this possible? How did one person just accomplish this goal? And now everybody's coming out of the woodworks doing the same thing. It's amazing, right? But it's that belief. So we need to start reprogramming your subconscious and reinforcing what is possible. And the truth is, anything is possible. If you guys get anything from these videos, look at me. I'm just a regular dude. I never had any advantages. You know, I was born in another country. I came here as an immigrant. My parents don't even speak English. And for you guys to say that I might have an advantage, it's just not fair. So the biggest thing, again, going back, we're going to reprogram your mind. We're going to reprogram your beliefs. So step number 1 would be to allow yourself to disconnect and allow yourself to connect with yourself again, right? And you can practice it. It doesn't have to be 40 days like myself, but allow yourself 1 hour in that day, right? Allow yourself 1 hour every day. Just like you work out your body, you're going to work out your mind. Give yourself 1 hour to be with yourself and be alone with your thoughts. And start writing some things down, right? Write some things, that your aspirations, what your dreams are, and get crazy. Nothing's impossible. So write down, if you want to be an astronaut, you want to go to space, that's cool. There might not be a space, but we'll get into that in another topic. But aside, back to the story again, guys. I want you guys to start getting back in touch with writing things and really giving into these dreams that you had when you were a child. Really start giving into that all over again. So disconnect and connect. There's a few, you know, good tips that, you know, things that I've implemented that help me with progressing and, you know, getting in touch with myself and becoming a little bit more aware of my thoughts and, you know, my motivations. And number 1, I started, investing more time into mindfulness. And, you know, the world that we live in, we have everything at our fingertips. It's just we don't use them, right? So the number 1 thing I picked up is a Calm app. And this Calm app, it's not meditation. They call it mindfulness, right? You want to just start investing some time. I only do 10 minutes every day, right? But that kind of puts me in a mood to really slow down my thoughts, slow down all these outside influences that are going on in my life, and really slow everything down and become aware and reset to what is important to me. So the Calm app is one big thing that I would recommend. I would start, listening to that podcast. The podcast that I mentioned to you guys again, episode 50 is a game changer. Listen to episode 65 where he comes back on and gives you practical ways to write down your goals. Crazy helpful. There's a book that I read, which is this one here. It is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. So this is by Deepak Chopra. And if you guys don't know who this guy is a genius. He is awesome, right? So this book changed my mentality as well. There's the last chapter there. The last law is going to be the law of Dharma, living your life's purpose. And I want you guys to seek that. There's nothing more fulfilling than pursuing your life's purpose. So with that said, those are some gems. Next week, guys, I promise you guys, I'm going to invest some more time into giving you guys some more content. Right now, I'm still learning how to transition, how to, give this enough time and still give my career some time and still put food on the table. So I do promise you guys I'm working at it. Next week, I promise you guys I'm going to put out a video tutorial on some meal prep. And I will also give you guys some more gems next week. If there's anything that you guys think that I might have missed, or if there's any questions that you guys have, reach out to me. You guys can reach out to me here. You can reach out to me on my Instagram. Not really active on the other platforms, but Instagram's the main one. It's Wellness by Felipe. You can go on there, ask me whatever questions that you have. But with all that said, I am going to log off now. I wish you guys the best of luck with this journey. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next week. We out.